When I walk through the temple grounds at dusk, there is a moment when the earth becomes still, the body listens, and in that silence, I often reflect on something simple, yet often overlooked, the strength in our legs. These are the pillars that have carried us through the stories of our lives, and yet in later years, that strength can begin to fade, not as a punishment, but as a quiet reminder that something within us needs attention. Before we begin, let me be clear. Food is the first medicine. Real meals, whole, living, unprocessed, remain the foundation of health. But in later years, even when we eat well, rest deeply, and move with intention, the body's ability to absorb and renew can fade. In such moments, certain nutrients may be offered, not to replace food, but to assist the healing already taking place within. Many elders are told that weakening legs are simply part of growing old, a natural decline, an unchangeable fate. But allow me to offer another possibility. Perhaps what you feel is not age, it is absence. A silent absence of 3 vital nutrients that your body once held in abundance. Nutrients that now, especially at night, are missing when your body needs them most. You will not hear about these nutrients on television. They do not make headlines. They do not enrich companies. They are natural, inexpensive, and, most importantly, they work. That is why they are so often ignored. But science does not ignore them. Studies reveal that just one of these missing nutrients increases nighttime leg cramps by 42%, delays muscle repair by 37%, and triples the risk of falling after the age of 60. One nutrient, one silent deficiency. And yet, there is one more truth. The very nutrient that boosts leg strength by 31% is the one almost no elder is regularly taking. Why? Because in a world that profits from managing symptoms, there is little interest in addressing root causes. But here, today, we walk a different path. We begin with awareness. Because when these nutrients are missing, your muscles cannot repair, your nerves cannot communicate, and your legs, your foundation, begin to falter. Recent research offers us hope. Seniors who restore these specific vitamins in the evening, just before bed, often notice faster muscle recovery, decreased leg pain, and better balance in only days. This is not magic, it is simply timing, wisdom, and physiology aligned. Tonight, I invite you to walk with me through these 3 nutrients one by one. We will begin with the third on the list, though in truth its value cannot be overstated. Let us begin with the forgotten thread between your brain and your body, vitamin B12. Many elders have heard of B12, but few understand its true role. B12 is not simply a supplement, it is a conductor, a silent line of communication between the mind and the muscles. It keeps your nervous system intact. It allows your legs to respond to your thoughts. When B12 fades, that signal weakens. Your legs may still be strong, but they no longer receive the message to move. This disruption does not arrive suddenly. It begins slowly, perhaps a tingling in your feet, a numbness you ignore, then a tightness in the calves, a hesitation in your step. One day, your knees may buckle unexpectedly, not from age, but from miscommunication, and the true reason lies deep within. After the age of 60, the stomach naturally produces less hydrochloric acid. This acid is essential for unlocking B12 from the foods you eat: meat, eggs, fish. So even with a healthy diet, your body may still be starving for what it cannot absorb. It is not your fault, it is simply part of the changing body. According to the National Institutes of Health, up to 43% of adults over 60 have low or borderline levels of B12. Many of them do not know it. The symptoms are subtle at first, but left unaddressed, they become dangerous. Muscle weakness, loss of balance, cramping that worsens at night, and in more severe cases, symptoms that mirror neurological diseases like Parkinson's. One large study published in Neurology followed over 2,500 seniors. Those with low B12 were nearly 3 times more likely to struggle with walking, and they had a 60% greater risk of falling. This is not coincidence, it is cause and effect. Yet, the body is wise. It knows when to heal. And the most profound healing occurs not in the daylight, but in the darkness of sleep. It is during this sacred time that the nervous system repairs itself, when damaged tissues are rebuilt and the body returns to balance. If B12 is present in the bloodstream before bed, your body uses it to restore the very connections that guide your movement. But if it is missing, healing is delayed. That is why timing matters. That is why taking B12 before sleep can be transformative. And do not fear, B12 is not a stimulant. It does not disturb sleep. In fact, some elders who take it at night report deeper rest, clearer dreams, and a sense of calm. Because when the body receives what it needs, it no longer has to whisper its discomfort through pain. But not all B12 is created equal. For those with weakened digestion, the most effective form is methylcobalamin, a version your body can use immediately. Even better, this form is available as a sublingual tablet placed under the tongue. It bypasses the digestive system and moves directly into the bloodstream, offering near instant availability. This is especially helpful for those relying on pills or multivitamins, which often fail to deliver enough usable B12. The body needs precision, not quantity. It needs nourishment at the right time in the right form, and the change can come swiftly. Studies show that restoring B12 levels can improve leg strength, nerve responsiveness, and balance in as little as 10 to 14 days. In one case, a senior who could not walk unaided for more than 10 minutes regained full mobility in just 6 weeks of consistent B12 use. This is not a miracle. It is not a trick. It is nature's design, respected, supported, and trusted. So if your legs feel numb, slow, or uncertain, consider not only how you move, but whether your body can hear the command to move. Begin simply with B12. It is not merely a supplement, it is a message, a bridge, a beginning. And in the next part of our journey, we will speak of the second nutrient, one that carries the light of the sun into the darkness of night, vitamin D3. When one speaks of healing, most imagine effort, sweat, discipline, action. But not all strength is born in motion. Some forms of power are restored in stillness, in sleep, in silence, and in the wisdom of the body knowing how to rebuild if only we allow it. Many elders ask me, how long must I wait before I feel change? My answer is always the same, not as long as you fear, if you give your body what it has been missing. Clinical studies confirm what ancient observation already suspected. When B12 is restored, the body responds with gratitude. Within 10 to 14 days, seniors often experience improved muscle control, quicker nerve response, and stronger, more reliable leg movements. One man who had not walked more than 10 minutes unaided regained full mobility in 6 weeks through daily B12 intake. These are not miracles, they are the result of giving the body what it has long been calling for. This is not magic, it is timing. It is the marriage of nutritional science with reverence for the body's natural rhythm. So if your legs feel slow, stiff, or unreliable, if you notice nighttime twitching or struggle with balance, begin by restoring your B12. It is not merely a pill, it is a signal, a reconnection to your physical self. But there is another nutrient, one just as vital, a nutrient of sunlight and silence, one that fuels the very act of rebuilding tissue during rest. Let us turn now to the second vitamin, one of the most overlooked but potent tools available for elders seeking to restore strength, vitamin D3. Many know D3 as the sunshine vitamin, a nutrient spoken of in relation to bones and sunlight. But in truth, for those of us beyond 60, D3 becomes something more. It is not only the guardian of bones, it is the quiet architect of muscle. And this truth matters now more than ever. Over 70% of elders in modern society are deficient in vitamin D3. Most are unaware. But research is clear. Without D3, muscles repair more slowly, legs weaken, and the risk of falling rises steadily. Let us look more closely. Vitamin D3 is not merely about calcium absorption or basking in the sun. It plays a critical role in muscle protein synthesis. The the body's sacred process of breaking down and rebuilding muscle fibers. And after 60, this rebuilding slows. That is why simple activities, walking through the house, standing in the kitchen, can leave you sore the next morning. When D3 levels are low, this slow recovery becomes even slower. It is in this hidden moment that sarcopenia begins, the gradual loss of muscle with age. And it does not start in the arms or chest, it starts in the legs, the thighs, the calves, the glutes, the body's foundation. You may not notice it at first, but over time, movements feel heavier. Rising from a chair takes longer. Climbing stairs becomes a task. Standing becomes a decision. And slowly, your world contracts. But there is hope. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism observed elders with low D3 levels. Those who took D3 before bed experienced a 19% increase in leg strength and 34% fewer falls in just 3 months. Why is bedtime so important? Because your body does not rebuild while you are active. It rebuilds in the deep hours of rest. During sleep, your brain releases growth hormone and your muscle receptors activated by D3 receive the signal to repair, to strengthen, to grow. Without D3, that process cannot begin. With it, healing flows and the benefits go beyond strength. D3 also soothes the quiet inflammation inside your muscles, that deep ache in your thighs at night, the burning sensation in your calves that comes without warning. Often these are signs of chronic microinflammation, tiny fires within the tissue. D3 helps calm those flames. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Aging revealed that seniors with D3 deficiency experienced twice the rate of nighttime leg pain and reduced muscle repair. Those who took D3 at bedtime not only eased their pain, but walked faster and with more balance in 6 weeks. Yet still, many seniors unknowingly disrupt their own recovery. They take D3 in the morning or forget it entirely. They rely on sunlight, but after 60, the skin's ability to synthesize D3 from sunlight drops by 75%. A daily walk is no longer enough. D3 must be supplemented intentionally and at the right time. Not during the rush of day, but in the calm of evening. Not with a heavy meal, but with a gentle presence before sleep. That is when your body listens. That is when it repairs. That is when D3 becomes your ally. Your muscles are not built in the gym. They are built in rest. And rest requires nourishment. Silent, consistent, unseen. D3 is not just light from the sun, it is light for your cells. And when taken with respect, it becomes the foundation of strength you thought was lost. In every practice I share, I return again and again to one truth. The smallest shift in habit can open the door to the greatest transformation. One such shift, simple yet powerful, is the way we nourish the body before sleep. When it comes to restoring muscle strength, most elders benefit from taking between 2,000 to 4,000 international units of vitamin D3 in the evening. Of course, the precise amount should always reflect your own body's needs, your blood levels, your condition, but there is one rule I always teach. Choose D3, not D2, and always offer it a partner, something like a spoonful of almond milk or a slice of avocado. Fat aids absorption, and in healing, even the helpers matter. Some may wonder, will D3 disturb my sleep? On the contrary, studies suggest that D3 may improve the quality of sleep by soothing the nervous system, calming the signals that cause leg cramps, and allowing the body to enter deep restoration. If your legs feel tight, if your steps have grown uncertain, if even movement cannot rebuild your strength, it may not be your will that is failing. It may be that D3 is missing, and with it, the spark your muscles need to recover. Addressing this one habit can be the difference between stagnation and renewal, but the path does not end there. In truth, there is one more nutrient, rarely spoken of, often misunderstood, that may be the most powerful of them all. Vitamin K2. Most people know of vitamin K1, the one found in leafy greens supporting healthy blood clotting. But K2 is different, deeper, more precise. It works not on the surface, but at the very heart of your body's infrastructure, your bones, your muscles, your resilience. If you are over 60 and feel that your legs have grown weak, if your knees creak as you rise from a chair, or your calves tighten like rubber bands by noon, there is a quiet truth waiting to be seen. Your body may be starving for K2. But what does K2 really do? Think of calcium as a powerful traveler. It holds the potential to fortify the body, but only if it arrives in the right place. Without guidance, it drifts. It calcifies arteries, it stiffens joints, it burdens soft tissues, and that is where K2 comes in, not as a force, but as a guide. It tells calcium, go here, not there. It directs it into your bones where it belongs and keeps it away from the places it was never meant to settle. That's why seniors with low K2 often suffer both weak bones and aching legs. Their calcium is present, but it is lost, misdirected, working against them rather than for them. But this is only the beginning of K2's quiet power. In a study published in Nutrients in 2021, older adults who took a daily dose of K2 showed profound changes in only 8 weeks. A 21% increase in quadriceps strength and a 31% improvement in standing balance. Not stimulation, activation. The awakening of muscle memory that had long been forgotten. And the results were most powerful when K2 was taken before bed, at the hour when the body is most ready to rebuild. Like D3, K2 operates best in the sanctuary of sleep, guiding recovery in silence. Together, K2 and D3 form a team, two quiet forces with complementary missions. D3 brings calcium into your bloodstream. K2 ensures it reaches the right destination. Without K2, even D3's benefit can turn against you, flooding tissues with misplaced calcium. This is why some elders, despite supplementing with D3, still feel stiff, still feel pain. The missing element is nearly always K2, and there is more. K2 activates a unique protein known as osteocalcin. This protein is not just a bone builder, it enhances how muscles use glucose, the body's energy. For those navigating prediabetes, insulin resistance, or poor circulation, this function is essential. In a clinical study published in Aging and Disease, seniors who took K2 experienced better blood sugar control and greater endurance during simple walking tests. And when taken before sleep, it didn't just support recovery, it replenished muscle glycogen, fuel for the next day's movement, delivered without pain or fatigue. This is the quiet genius of K2. It supports strength, not through force, but through order. It restores not by pushing harder, but by aligning the body's wisdom with the right signals at the right time. In the quiet of the evening, just before the body enters rest, there is an opportunity, a small window in which healing can be encouraged, strength can be restored, and clarity can return. But like all opportunities, it must be approached with intention. The problem many elders face is not a lack of will or effort. It is that certain essential nutrients, like vitamin K2, are nearly absent from the modern diet. K2 is found in small amounts in fermented foods like natto, aged cheeses, or select meats. But unless your meals regularly include these, it is likely you are not receiving enough. This is where supplementation becomes a gift. The most effective form of K2 is known as MK7, a version that stays in the body longer, allowing it to regulate calcium more consistently and support your muscles throughout the night. When you take K2 before bed, you send a signal to your body. Now is the time to rebuild. It is like flipping a switch on your inner repair system. And if you are already taking vitamin D3, then K2 is the key that unlocks its full power. D3 draws calcium into the bloodstream. K2 ensures that calcium reaches its rightful place, your bones, and avoids your joints, arteries, and tissues. So if your legs feel unstable, if stairs have grown more difficult, or if there is pain in your knees or calves that wasn't there last year, consider this. Perhaps your body is not failing. Perhaps it is simply waiting for the right message, and K2 might be that message. Now let us walk through a gentle routine, a nightly practice that brings these 3 vitamins into alignment with your body's natural rhythm. No stress, no confusion, Only clarity, timing, and consistency. We begin with vitamin B12. As we age, our digestive strength declines. That is why the most effective form of B12 for elders is sublingual methylcobalamin, a small tablet placed under the tongue, where it dissolves and enters the bloodstream directly. There is no need to swallow, no burden on the stomach. Take it about 30 minutes before bed, ideally on an empty stomach or at least 2 hours after dinner. This allows your body to absorb it without interference from food. To help form the habit, keep the bottle near something you already use. Your toothbrush, a glass of water, a book by the bed. Let it become part of your quiet ritual. For those beginning B12, 1000 micrograms daily is a gentle place to start. Over the following weeks, observe. Watch how your energy shifts. Notice your balance. Feel into the quality of your sleep. Next is vitamin D3. Look for a soft gel or capsule that offers at least 2000 international units of cholecalciferol, the natural form of D3 your body produces from sunlight. But remember, D3 is fat soluble. To support absorption, pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, a spoonful of almond butter, a few nuts, or a slice of cheese. Avoid heavy meals before bed, as they can interfere with both sleep and nutrient uptake. Ideally, take D3 about 20 to 30 minutes before sleep. You may take it alongside B12. Keep it simple. Place the bottle beside your tea mug, your water glass, or wherever you prepare for rest. Finally, we return to vitamin K2, your body's silent guide. Choose the MK7 form, ideally at a dose between 100 and 200 micrograms. This version remains in your system longer, working in harmony with D3. Take it at the same time as your D3. Together, they support your bones and muscles when they are most open to repair, while you sleep. K2 does not require a full meal, but like D3, it benefits from a small fat-based snack. And if you are already consuming calcium during the day through supplements or food, K2 becomes even more important. It ensures that calcium arrives at the right destination. For those taking medications, it is wise to separate these vitamins from prescription drugs by at least 1 hour, unless advised otherwise by your physician. Many elders find peace and ease by preparing a simple bedtime tray, a glass of water, your 3 supplements, perhaps a warm herbal tea or a journal. It is not just a task, it is a gesture of care, a final offering to your body before it begins its sacred work of healing. Healing is not an event, it is a rhythm. And within that rhythm, consistency becomes the most powerful teacher. These nutrients, B12, D3, and K2, do not act like lightning. They are more like water, slow, persistent, and quietly transformational. So begin tonight, not with force, but with gentle repetition. B12 under the tongue, D3 and K2 with a small snack, taken 30 minutes before bed. No noise, no struggle, just a quiet invitation for the body to do what it was designed to do, heal, repair, and rebuild from within. Once this nightly practice becomes part of your breath, part of your flow, there is one more step. Because even though these vitamins carry deep potential, they are most effective when paired with small mindful habits, silent rituals that support absorption, reduce inflammation, and unlock deeper restoration. Let us walk through 3 such habits, simple, quiet, and profoundly supportive. First, hydrate with awareness. Most elders drink water only when they feel thirsty. But by the time the sensation of thirst arrives, dehydration has already taken hold. And when water is low, blood thickens, circulation slows, and nutrients, even when present, struggle to reach their destination. Without hydration, B12 cannot nourish your nerves. D3 moves sluggishly through the bloodstream. K2 cannot guide calcium to its proper place. That dull ache in your legs at night, that sense of fatigue that lingers through the morning, it may not be aging, it may be dryness. A study in the Journal of Aging Research found that even mild dehydration lowered leg endurance by 14% and delayed overnight recovery by several hours. But the answer is not to drink a flood of water at once. Instead, sip throughout the day, a glass every 90 minutes. If plain water feels uninviting, add a slice of lemon or cucumber. And in the final hour before sleep, pause the flow, allowing the body to settle undisturbed. When combined with your evening supplements, proper hydration becomes a silent ally. Flexibility in the joints, flow in the blood, energy in the muscles. Second, eat with intention, especially after sunset. What you eat, and more importantly when, has a direct impact on how your body heals. A heavy dinner, rich in starch or sugar, demands your body's full attention. It shifts energy toward digestion, not recovery. After 60, digestion naturally slows in the evening. Late night bread, rice, or dessert can increase internal inflammation and interfere with the absorption of D3 and K2. One study in clinical nutrition revealed that seniors who consumed high glycemic meals after 7 p.m. had twice the rate of nighttime muscle stiffness and 38% less efficient nutrient uptake. The solution is elegant in its simplicity. Keep your final meal light and clean. A small serving of tofu or lentils paired with steamed greens or a few slices of avocado. Then allow 2 hours of stillness before your supplements. That quiet space becomes fertile ground. Vitamins act more cleanly. Digestion rests. You wake not with heaviness, but with ease. Third, move gently and consistently. And perhaps most overlooked, movement just before sleep. Not a workout, not a task, but a moment of connection. When you move your legs gently, simple extensions, ankle rolls, heel raises, you invite blood to flow. You whisper to your muscles, I am here, I remember you. These small movements, practiced with care, tell the nervous system that the legs are still alive, still engaged, still worthy of repair. In the final hour of the day, your body listens most deeply. Stack these habits gently, hydrate, eat lightly, move softly, pair them with your nightly nutrients, and let the night become not just a pause from life, but a return to strength. This is not a workout. It is a whisper to your body, a soft reminder that your legs are still alive, still worthy of care. When you engage your leg muscles, even for a few quiet minutes before sleep, you stimulate blood flow. This gentle movement becomes the vessel that carries nutrients, B12, D3, and K2, deep into the tissues where healing begins. Less soreness, more stability, quiet visible strength returning, not through strain, but through presence. Try this. Sit down and extend your legs one at a time, 10 times each. Circle your ankles slowly, listening to their rhythm. Stand by the bed and lift your heels gently from the floor, 10 silent pulses. These are not exercises, they are invitations. Each small movement tells your nervous system, I am here, I am ready. A 2021 study in geriatric rehabilitation showed that seniors who practiced 5 minutes of such light leg movement before bed increased lower limb blood flow by 22%. Within 10 days, they reported fewer cramps, less stiffness, and better balance. You need no equipment, just a chair, a wall, the edge of your bed. That is enough. And when you stack these 3 quiet habits, hydration, a lighter dinner, and 5 minutes of movement with your nightly dose of B12, D3, and K2, you do not just treat symptoms. You create the ideal environment for restoration, not temporary relief, but real, measurable change, not from outside in, but from inside out. This is how you reclaim your strength, not by chasing it, but by honoring it. So now you have the path. Vitamin B12, to restore the nerve connection between brain and muscle. Vitamin D3, to fuel muscle recovery and calm inflammation. Vitamin K2, to guide calcium, repair tissue, and reverse slow, silent muscle loss. 3 nutrients, 3 forgotten tools. 3 ways to say to your body, I'm listening now. You do not need more pills. You do not need louder voices. You need quiet, science-backed action. And it starts tonight, before bed, when your body, finally at rest, is most open to healing, because your body still remembers how to repair. It only needs the right signals at the right time. So now step gently into your evening with your water, your light meal, your soft movement, and your nutrients. Trust the process. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. Now give them the care to carry you gracefully into the years ahead. Supplements may support the journey, but it is real food, real breath, and real rest that nourish us all the way.